Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below. Judge Jeanine Pirro says that Trump is delivering on his promises.
And welcome back to the special edition of Hannity. Joining us now to react to the president's speech at CPAC, the host of the hit show Justice, Judge Jeanine Pirro, is with us. She's at CPAC 2018. All right, Judge, so you got to speak after the president tonight, but to the big dinner, which we're so proud of you. Look, you were there. You saw the speech. The fact that Gallup is even saying that optimism has changed. Rasmussen now has him at a magic number of approval, 50%. Results matter to people, and I think results matter more than noise that we've heard from the last year.
You know what's amazing is the energy in the room when the president spoke was very uplifting. It was optimistic, and it reflects the fact that probably, and as long as I can remember, we have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign. The president was firm, he was funny, he was personal, and he was resolute in making sure that American confidence is up, that unemployment is down, and that the American people understand that they have the right to make a living. They have the right to be able to provide for their families, and they have the right to secure and safe cities. He hit all the notes. He hit it out of the park.
All right, let me ask you, Paul Sperry had a great piece out today. He's a really smart writer in the New York Post, and he's talking about Devin Nunes and the Intelligence Committee and the intelligence community assessment. And what they're looking at is the ICA, including their footnotes, to see if there's any analysis. In other words, was that like the FISA pre-cooked on the unverified dossier? In other words, you have the FBI, the NSA, the CIA. Were they using an unverified dossier in this capacity?
Well, I don't think there's any question that they were. I don't think there's any question that they knew, that they paid for it, that that Hillary Clinton and the DNC were involved in it. And then what happened was they did everything they could to spread it among the media and to use it in a court, one of the most private courts in the country, in a FISA court. I mean,
but here's my question, though. This is a specific. Yeah. But if the intel community itself was using the unverified dossier for their ISA, that's what I'm asking. Did they use it for FISA and for their own intelligence gathering? In other words, they're believing in their own lie?
Of course they're believing their own lie, because if they didn't believe their own lie, Sean, then they wouldn't be able to perpetuate the narrative that they are perpetuating. Sean, we're at a point in American history where if we don't make that sharp turn, then we're headed for the tombs at this point. And that's why people elected Donald Trump, because the narrative and the lies and the playbook has been unbelievable. I'm sorry to say this. Look, I gave 30 years of my life in government. I was a believer. And I am stunned at the lies and at the criminality, the corruption, and the conspiracy.
I never thought I could see this in our lifetime, and especially, going to a FISA judge. I have two judge questions. One is on the issue of not telling the FISA court judge, just a footnote that says it may be political in nature when they knew it was Hillary bought and paid for. And what do you make about the judge that also was the judge in the Senator Ted Stevens case in Alaska? He's now General Flynn's judge, and this judge wants all exculpatory evidence, and he will decide what's exculpatory in the Flynn case to be sent to him. That seems to be highly unusual.
Look, Sean, I said it from the get-go. The idea of a FISA court on this particular case, and there's something called forum shopping. And that means, and when I was a judge, we used to say, oh, we have a wheel. Your name just comes up when it comes up. Nonsense. All right. And the fact that you got Ted Stevens judge, who's the same one who was signing the FISA, the 90-day extensions based on nothing other than that dossier. And until and unless you give me more evidence, I'm going to say it's based on nothing but a fake dossier. Then what we've got is a problem in the judiciary. And I would have expected a FISA judge to say, everybody, cut it right here. You are not to use the courts for your political agenda. It's unheard of in American history. And these judges, if they're not saying anything, then they're as corrupt as the prosecutor.
Is this judge looking to maybe throw this plea deal out that Flynn made?
The idea that this judge will decide what's exculpatory and what he's going to admit and not admit is a continuation of their narrative. I wouldn't trust him, and what I would do, to be honest with you, and look, generally I trust all judges, but when you've got a conflict, you have an obligation to recuse yourself. You have an obligation to say, look, I've got a problem here. Let me give it to another judge. And I'm not saying that he is or isn't bad, but you know what? When it smells or when there's smoke, there's usually fire.
All right, Judge, we appreciate, as always, you being with us.
Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below and tell me how you feel about this report. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and let's make America great again. Peace.